Hi everyone. I am going to work with my jelly print. For anybody who's bought a jelly print and has never taken it out of the box, this is what it looks like. It's just a big floppy piece of jelly, but it's about 1/4 of an inch thick, maybe a little bit more, and it is pretty forgiving, but it is really neat to create some backgrounds. I'm going to try a couple of different things. This is what I wanted to do with my jelly. Most people use acrylic paints, and I still do, but I wanted to try a couple of other things. And I think as long as it's water-based, it's fine to use on your jelly. I wouldn't use Copic markers or alcohol inks or anything like that, because I have a feeling it would really ruin it and it would probably stain it. Whether it would keep working even though, but I don't know. I know for myself I'm going to use anything that's washable with water. So today I'm going to play with my distress inks, and I'm going to try and do some prints that are done with distress inks. So I will show you what I'm going to do, but I'm going to also show you what I've already done with it. And I was playing this morning and of course made a huge mess. So now I got to clean up again, and I'm going to show you the process of doing it this way. And I've learned a few things while I was playing around, because I mixed in a bit of white paint with my distress inks and created some really cool shapes and patterns. And so let's get started. See your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. All right, so that is what I created this morning, and now I'm going to show you how I did it. And using distress ink, I thought I'd do tags. I spread it on my mat, put my ink on my mat, then I spritz it with water, or sometimes I use glimmer mist instead of water, but some water-based product to make it wet, and then swirl it or stamp it or do something with texture. I sometimes drag these little combs through and do other things with it. So why can't I do it on the jelly print, and why can't I do it with a big sheet of paper? So this is why I wanted to try it out. I thought it might be a really neat way of doing it. So I basically just put a couple of blobs of color onto the jelly print. Try not to mix them because I don't like getting the two colors mixed together on my pads ink. Did I use that one? Or did I use that one? I think I used the other one. Okay, so now that I've used those three colors, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spritz it. First I'll spritz it with water, and you can see the difference between the two. I have got Gargoyle White, which I like to use, and sometimes I use this one, which is just a mica mixed with water and a little bit of glue. And that way it gives me my own spray, starburst spray, or whatever you want to call the spray. Now I'm going to spread this out with one of the combs, and it just basically drags the colors into each other, because I didn't want to do it with the pads because it'll make a mess of my pads. Okay, so basically I have just dragged, and I could drag it a little bit more and intermix them. Those lines aren't going to show up too much because it is a water, like it's a water product. It is actually going to really smear once it hits the paper. So I will show you with mascara. Okay, so here comes a piece of paper. And it will come through this paper because this is just cardstock. You could use watercolor paper if you wanted to, and it probably wouldn't go through, but I don't mind. I'm just trying to show what it does. I didn't get quite as much water on there, and I bet you if I spritzed it, nope, it's already stuck. So that is the first print. And I do find the one problem with jelly printing is that there's so much to dry that you need another room just to start drying everything. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a tiny bit, actually let's put some more ink on here. And with my brayer, I am going to apply a little bit of white. What you can do is spritz this with what? Just play, experiment. Don't worry about anything. There is no rules to this at all. But on my brayer, I find it almost more fun to actually put the paint on my brayer. Sometimes I put it all the way around because I want it to be organic. I don't want it to be in just one particular spot. Now you're mixing something thick with something thin, so you have to kind of get the feeling for it and see how it works for you. Now, let's get another piece. Look at the difference. Isn't that neat? So when you put the two side by side, I mean, this is the original way that jelly prints were made to be. But what I'm going to do Sorry to stop talking, I'm concentrating. Apparently I can't talk and concentrate at the same time, but so putting a light over top of the dark colors. But I really, really like the watercolor effect of using the distress inks. So I wanted to show you that. Next, I'm going to clean up again because it's such a mess doing this, and I'm going to show you how you can put this directly into your journal as a background. Rather than taking this piece of paper and making these all into journal pages, why not just put them right into your journal? There's a few videos out there of girls that are doing that, but I want to show you that you can do it, and it's not that difficult. It takes a little getting used to doing it because you have to fold all the pages back, but you can do it, and it's very easy, and it takes out the steps of having to make your own journal. But this one is done with the Gelli print. So some paint, some ink, and then just cleaning it off. I even used a rubber stamp. But the problem with rubber stamps, because this is the rubber stamp I used, but the problem with rubber stamps is that they're backwards. When you put it on the Gelli print, unless you're stamping it onto the Gelli print and then transferring it, it goes backwards. So I was just stamping it on with some ink. Anyways, so I'm going to show you how, before I put any ink on here, I'm going to show you how it works. Okay, so here's my clean page. And what happens is, if you put this on this side of your working space, you basically have to lay your entire journal flat on that side and only let the one page come down. Because if you don't, it's really hard. You've got to be able to either use a brayer or your hand and rub it down and get every little nook and cranny. Oops, I had two. But so basically you have to be able to lay it flat on the spine of the book so that it can get that page wet. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to put this down over here for a minute. What shall we use? Paint? I've got such a collection here. Distress stains. I've got paint. I'd like to use something with a bit more orange in it. Let's try, I'll do the persimmons, because I like that color. And Halloween is here, so let's use some persimmons. use some, well, yellow might be kind of cool actually. And I'm going to put some white through it, so. I'll do green. This is quite the psychedelic colors. Oh, hey, it'll work. So those are my 3 colors this time. And what I'm going to spray it with is my Perfect Pearl Starburst Ghostly Gargoyle. I got this from the Halloween collection. And I will spray it with that because it gives it such a cool shimmer. But what I'm going to do after I've done this, oh, hang on, there's something on there. Let me just use my tweezers to pull it off. Hang on, there's a little piece of fiber from my ink pad. There. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put over a mask, I should say, like that. Okay. Now here we go. This is the tricky part. Let me just move some stuff out of the way because it's in my way. And you do need to have some space. That is the thing. Alright, so I lay this down beside it. And then I take that one sheet and lay that down. And now I'm going to just squish it down with my left hand, which is not the easiest hand to work with, but I'm going to do it. And up it comes. Oh, look at that. Doesn't that look cool? And then you can dry it, and you can do something else with it if you want. I think I might just try putting this on top of here. Maybe I'll brayer it. See how that goes. See how that goes. I just put the wet one down on that side. I'm going to brayer it on, as opposed to putting my own hands in there, because we all know that I don't like to get too messy. Okay, that goes in the dirty pile. There's still lots of ink on here, so I might just use a piece of paper and get that off. I hate to waste any ink because it costs us so much to buy all this ink. Look at how much came off. Almost more than came off the stamp itself, or the mask itself. But I don't know if you can see, but the blue gargoyle white has like a blue shimmer to it. It's so cool. But I also have this one that I've made for myself using just my mica, and it's gold. So depending on what color you want, it just makes it really pretty because it gives it that glowing effect. Ghostly glowing. Anyways, I just wanted to show you that. I thought you'd like it. And get out those jelly prints and start working with them, because it's a lot of fun. And this way you're already half started for when Mona actually asked us to do a challenge in our journal. All right, just make up a bunch of pages and get ready to start journaling in them. I think it's a great way to get the pages done, and it gets the ink on the paper, which is, I'm terrified of these papers. These ones are okay. I don't even mind writing words on them and sticking a few pictures. But I said, we all work together, we'll get this journaling down. Have a great day. Bye.